morning, everybody. Lions destroy the Packers in their own hometown. Let's get to it. Oh, look at that. Here we are, folks. Yes, welcome one, welcome all. It is Friday morning, and it is NFC North Talk with your host, Russell Wayne. We are streaming live into Detroit Lions news. We are streaming live into Bill the Packers fan. We are streaming live into Mike the Bear fan, and NFC North main event. And our YouTube page. We got 15 people on there. Please give it a like and a subscribe if you're liking this football content, because I figured if you're not liking the content, you would have already tuned out by now, right? Right? Lions destroy the Packers as I bring in my co-host, the Emmy-nominated main event, Mike.
Victory Friday, my friend.
Victory Friday, and it is so sweet to go here and know that we get to run our mouths for the next 10 days up on this program right here, because we are in sole possession of first place. There's none of that. Well, we have a division game, so we're technically in front of you guys, but nope.
Just for the record, 739 days since the Lions have lost to the Packers.
739 days. That's a long time, man. And it's going to keep getting longer and longer and longer, because you're not going to beat this team this year. You're not going to beat this team as long as Aiden Hutchinson is on this team. It blew my mind how much they dominated the game. I actually thought the Packers were better than that. I thought that their team was pretty good, you know, and that we'd have a knockdown, drag-out fight in Lambeau Field. But no.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
You got your kneecaps bitten off. You got dominated. And guess what? Jordan Love ain't that good. Jordan Love got exposed yesterday. Jordan Love is an average at best quarterback. His completion percentage ended up getting to him. He just had no answer. I don't even know if he's an NFL quarterback. I couldn't even believe how bad Jordan Love was yesterday and how much they did not come to fight. And wow, Mike comes in here and says my prediction was 41-17. Not bad. Mike Fisher was right on there. And you were getting clowned on here, weren't you, Mike?
For sure.
Mike was on there. And now it's Lamb Blue Field. You like that? I like that. Lamb Blue Field. We were calling it Ford Field North. It was nice to go up into our up north ownership cabin up there in Lambeau and get some hunting in. It's nice. We in Michigan, we love going up north. You know, we love spending time up north, and we love to have a home up north in Lambeau that we can call our very own. Dan Campbell is now 4-1 versus Matt LaFleur. That is ownership. You can show your little walking the Lions meme that you guys, own the rivalry from back in the day. What did you say about that, Mike? I mean, these ownership, they actually own the rivalry because, they're actually ahead 108 to, whatever it is, 76.
Yeah, they hold a 29-game lead on the Detroit Lions in the all-time series. I don't believe that you and I, Russ, will probably ever see it in our lifetime, the Lions to overcome that. I mean, it's possible, but highly unlikely that you and I will ever see that. So, yeah, we're going to have to live with that one. But back in the day, Paul Hornung, Bart Starr, they owned us. So, but for now, Aiden Hutchinson doesn't know what it's like to lose in Lambeau. He doesn't know what it's like to lose to the Packers, period. So all that history, it doesn't matter. The victors are the ones that write the history books, and today it's the Detroit Lions that are the victors.
Scotty Reno says, wow, that was an epic ass whooping. I think that's the biggest surprise that comes from Lions fans. We thought that the Packers would put up more of a fight than that. Lions are king of the North. Good morning, Detroit fan man. FPT, there's a new sheriff in town. Yeah, it doesn't look like the same old Lions, does it? Where's that? Where's all those same old Lions guys? They played really good in the first half, but in the second half, they fell apart. Don't know why. Great win. What do you mean they fell apart in the second half? I mean, does that really constitute as falling apart? Where they played ball control for a little bit, and then and when they got back, they just stomped their foot on their head. I mean, it wasn't close. It wasn't ever close. There was never a game to be had. I don't know. They didn't fall apart, I don't think. I think Jordan Love got lucky to get a 60-yard pass because he threw the ball when the quarter was over. That was the longest play of the game for the Packers.
Well, to that viewer's point, the Packers outscored the Lions in the second half. What it reminded me of, Russ, was last year's Detroit-Carolina game, where Carolina just overwhelmed us in the first half that we couldn't recover. We outplayed them in the second half. We actually gained more yards in the second half, but still took the L. And it didn't even seem close, even though those things were true. Same thing last night. Jordan Love saw the most pressure he's ever seen in his entire career as a professional. He was 23 of 36, which is about 65%, about the league average, with one touchdown and two interceptions, with a quarterback rating of 69.9. Oof.
Yeah, he's not good.
It's my quarterback.
But the real story, Russ, I believe, is what you and I talked about leading up to this game, actually for the last few weeks, when you can run the ball and you can stop the run. And that's exactly what happened in Lambeau Field last night. Lions rushed for 211 yards. They hold the Green Bay Packers, supposedly the best rushing team in the league, to a total of 27 yards rushing. And all week we say, and hell, all offseason we say, for now, we got to say the Packers have the best running game in the division. For now, at least on paper. Right now, we keep throwing those things out there. Well, let's just take that right off the board. The Green Bay Packers do not have the best running attack in the division anymore. It is clearly the Detroit Lions with the best running attack. 2 out of 3 weeks now, the Packers have given up 211 yards on the ground. That's what they gave up to the Lions last night. They also gave that up to the Atlanta Falcons in a 1-point win. So I don't think we can no longer say the Packers have the best run defense in the division either. So when you can't run the ball and you can't stop the run, that's a recipe for losing.
It sure is. It sure is. We got a lot of love in here. There's not. We had one guy that said "F the Lions." I'm not going to put that up there. Gosh, you guys are really.
Where's Robert? Is Robert in today?
Robert was in here. I saw a comment in here, and I was looking for it. There he is.
Okay.
Good victory morning, Lions fans. You were clearly the better team last night. Congrats on being in first. If you slap off, we will be right there to take it from you. Now, F off. I'm in a mood. As always, go Pack, go.
Well, thank you for that, Robert. Much respect for you showing in, taking your medicine today.
Yep. And we don't plan on taking off the gas. It doesn't seem like that we're a team that's going to let off the gas. And it may have appeared like that last night, but after I rewatched the game, it was clear that Dan was actually being nice in the third quarter. But I'll give the Packers this much, is they never let up in the fight. Like, even though they were down by a lot and there really wasn't a lot to fight for, they tried to fight all the way to the end. It wasn't until the very, very last drive that I could really see that they were just trying to run the clock out too, because they wanted to get the hell out of there. But that didn't happen until the fourth quarter. They fought all the way through, even though they didn't have a chance to win. So I'll give them that. But Dan was just hoping that in the third quarter that their wind was out of their sail and that they would just let us run the ball and, take the game over. But they didn't give up. They didn't give up, and they at least try to do something. So if there's anything to look forward to as a Jordan Love fan, maybe you're still a Jordan Love believer, that he did fight. He did try to fight. He's just not an accurate quarterback. Calvin says we beat Green Bay down in their house. Can't wait till they come to our house. Well, their house is now our house. That is Ford Field North in Lambeau Field, and they have to prove it otherwise now. We now own this rivalry, and there's really nothing they can say about it other than 1967. I mean, I don't know. You guys were really good in the 60s. Good morning, Russ and Mike. Lions win.
Little Wayne leading the Packers on the field last night. I thought that was so appropriate when you talk about being overrated.
That they were saying in the Lions, then they were hoping they was going to fall down and then get trampled by the entire Packer team. Oh, Green Bay is in witness protection. Not Rob. Rob was in there. I want to see if there's any other. There's one other guy that said F. He's just butthurt though. At least Robert has some honor in the loss. 27-3 at halftime.
And that was only because of the Goff pick, or that'd have been 27-0.
Right. They went backwards. I could not believe how much that they dominated the line of scrimmage. You know, and if you want to know why the Lions didn't draft Jalen Carter, just say hello to Aleem McNeil and Isaiah Buggs, who dominated the middle of that field yesterday.
And Kaminsky was huge. And Aiden Hutchinson, they were huge. That whole front four was great yesterday.
Oh, so can we ask good old John, who has the worst linebacking core now? Yeah.
Right.
Clearly, the Lions have a better linebacking core than the Green Bay Packers. I
get off here, Russ. I just realized I got to go into the back chat and leave a voice memo. Who's in first place?
Are you out of here? Or
no, not yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm not done gloating.
How much did Bears fan cheer for Monty's 3-touchdown FTP last night?
I don't know.
I like that.
I don't
know.
Detroit fan, man, and something that Russ and I came up with last night. If we can get calling all Bear fans, Lions fans and Bear fans, from now on we will refer to Lambeau Field as Ford Field North. As they like to call Soldier Field Lambeau South, we can stick it right back to them and call that Ford Field North in Wisconsin. I love that.
I mean, we could call it Ford Field North. Could we just say it's up north? You know, it's our up north cabin in Lambeau. We love going up north. We love hunting. We love fishing.
Next year when the Lions come out and they play in Lambeau, they should run out to the old song by Madness, Our House in the middle
of our street.
That'd be great to come out to that.
Lamb Blue Field. I like Lamb Blue Field. That is pretty good. I like
Lambeau litter box.
Lamb Blue Field. Yep. That's in our up north cabin. Oh, let me see. I'm looking for
41-17. You were close, Mike.
31-17 from Ken Fisher. Yeah, you guys were pretty close. I didn't think that. I thought that the Packers defense was better than it was. Either you're missing like Calais Campbell, like no one is missing a linebacker ever, or
Lavondre Campbell.
Lavondre Campbell. What did I say?
Calais.
Oh, did I? Okay.
No, we beat him last week.
Yes, we had. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's big defensive lineman. That's right. So, yeah, Campbell, if you're really missing Campbell or you're not, or you're just not as good as I thought you were. I told y'all.
Rajneesh. I told you all the Packers had done since Rodgers left. And that is something that a lot of people have said, that Jordan Love, we didn't know what he was, Russ, right? We didn't know. But we did know that Aaron Rodgers is a damn Hall of Famer. We know exactly what he is. How do you expect your team gets better when you make a change like that at quarterback?
There you go, Chad. restart Lambeau Field by storm, and that building sounded like they were in Ford Field. The Lions fans showed up. That's what he's saying.
He's saying I think that's a voice text error. It should be we took Lambeau Field by storm, right?
Yeah, it might be but you talk about our fans. There was a lot of blue in that green stadium last night, and at the end, I mean, you could really hear it. You could really hear it. Our fans are traveling.
So loud, you could barely hear the post-game interview with Jared Goff and David Montgomery. And I know you left kind of early, Russ. Right when time expired, you said your goodbyes and you were out. I stayed for a bit, and then I listened to FM radio sports talk on the way home, and the fans were still there at Lambeau. They were still there at 11:30, quarter to 12. They were still there in droves, celebrating, putting it to them. Big ups to the Detroit Lions fans that made their presence felt in that away stadium. That's got to be uplifting for the team. Awesome job to the fans that were there. I've never seen so much blue in Lambeau in my life.
So here's another classy Green Bay Packer fans. Congrats to the Lions. Kicked our asses. I'm not afraid to admit it, but our season ain't over. So congrats to the Lions. And that's from Steve is real. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Steve, for still tuning into the program, because this isn't an NFC North program. And, whoever's at the head of the NFC North, we have to cover it. And it just so happens for once in our lives, it's us. We get to be on our own show and be in control of our own show. Sole possession of the NFC North talk with Russell Wayne. That's right. That's right. And that's what you're watching right now. And out of the 20 people that are watching on YouTube right now, 10 of them have liked the video. So if you could take the time right now, if you're enjoying what we're doing, talking some football right here, just smash that like button right on that YouTube and hit the subscribe button. If you haven't hit the subscribe button or the follow button on whatever you're watching this on, whatever this is streaming on, let us know. Let us know. We stormed into Lambeau Field and took that place over and sounded like it was Ford Field. Love it. Go Lions.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
There you go. Good correction, Chad. I like that take.
I love it. I love it. So what was your biggest surprise from the game, Mike? What would you think what was the biggest thing?
The swarming defense. They were able to bring it just like they did in the Atlanta game. Like we said before, if they played like they did in the Atlanta game, I don't think there's a team out there that can beat this defense, and that's what they did yesterday. All of the yards at the end of that first half, the Packers had -1 yard total. No team can overcome that. I mean, that is huge. Like you said, I got to give Jordan Love credit, and I got to give the Green Bay Packers credit. They came out and an NFL football game is full of ebb and flow. There's momentum going back and forth. And if you're a good team, you can withstand their best punch and punch back. And that's what the Lions did. The resiliency of this team. But you're saying, what was the biggest surprise? I predicted a more than 10-point win, so I wasn't really too surprised. I am surprised that we were able to run the ball so effectively on them. The big end around to Khalif Raymond, what a huge play. That was on a first down. It looked like a run. Man, Jared Goff throwing a block out in the flat. Jared Goff with more rushing yards than he's had in 3 years. That was a surprise to me. Being able to run the ball with not just David Montgomery. Jahmyr Gibbs kind of got stymied a bit, but they were being so effective running between the tackles and stuff with David Montgomery and some of these trick plays. I think that they used him just as much as they needed to. He had like 50 or 60 yards in the game. So nice contribution. Sam Laporta. You just can't talk enough about the rookies.
Yeah. And the thing is like Jahmyr Gibbs wasn't – I actually looked at the box score and I was actually surprised because he quietly averaged 5 yards a carry. He had 8 carries for 40 yards and was extremely effective in the game. I mean, he had a couple times where he was stymied right up at the line of scrimmage, but other times he would squeeze through where it looked like a 3-yard carry that just kind of happened to be a 7 or 8 yard carry. He's really good at squeezing out a couple extra yards, and it doesn't look like he got a lot, but he got a lot. And Montgomery was on fire, man. You could just tell that he had a lot of animosity building up inside of him over the fact that he hadn't beaten the Packers. He really wanted to put it to the Packers, and that's what he did.
It was great to see Quay Walker back in form. I definitely think that was the biggest play of the game, a routine field goal, right? He gets a penalty for jumping over the line and stepping on a guy's back. And then we punched the ball in for a touchdown. That was a real dagger. Quay Walker, 2 years in a row, you basically cost your team the game.
Well, I think you're giving him too much credit. I mean, that was a field goal to make it so they could be down by 2 possessions with 2 minutes left.
That was huge. That was huge. That was the biggest play of the game. The momentum was clearly in Green Bay's favor. They stopped us to get that field goal. I think, didn't that come off an interception as well? And they stopped us to get that field goal. I thought that was a big momentum swing. Definitely in the second half, the momentum was with Green Bay, and that play was a momentum killer. Did you freeze up, Russ? Blink. Blink, Russ. Oh, look at that look. That's the look of happiness, folks. That is the look of a 3-1 football team that is in first place in their division and not looking back. Because if we look ahead, we see that the Lions play the Panthers at home. Then we travel to Tampa to play the Bucks. No matter what you think about those two teams, those are definitely 2 winnable games for the Detroit Lions. We could be sitting at 5-1, going out to the East Coast to play the Ravens in the next game. Oh, yeah, and by the way, we'll be getting J-Mo back at that time. So this team's not going to get worse. Another great takeaway from last night, we get 10 days to heal those injuries to get ready for that Carolina game. That Carolina game, of course, a revenge game from the beatdown they gave us last year. 10 days to recover. Brian Branch, obviously nothing broken in the ankle. That's great news. I question the call to bring him back out there and re-aggravate it. Let's even suppose that it's a severe sprain. If it's a severe sprain, he would probably miss the Carolina game as well, just to be safe. But he could be taped up and back in there at Tampa, even with severe sprain. So good news that nothing's broken. We were all holding our breath thinking it was an Achilles, the way he went down, the way they carted him off of the field. So really good news there that Brian Branch, nothing broken. We're going to be able to see him again soon.
Yeah. Sorry about that. It's my daily Xfinity failure. And I'm getting kind of really good at just jumping onto my hot spot right here real quick, jump back in and everything like that. But I mean, that the biggest play of the game to me, there wasn't really a biggest play of the game. It was the first half. Going up and just beating the shit out of them to a point where they couldn't come back on it. I mean, you can point to that part. That was a big thing. That was Quay Walker in typical Quay Walker form. I don't know if it was the biggest play of the game from the affecting the outcome, because the Lions literally just took the ball and crammed it down their throat on the next drive after that and really started to play offense again and started to play like offense like they did in the first half, where in the third quarter they were doing more of a ball control thing. He's doing the Marty ball thing. I hate that he did that too. If there's only one thing, I want to see them stick the pedal to the metal on every single drive and play their offense. Play your offense regardless of what the score is. Just call plays. Am I frozen again?
No, you're right
good.
on.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure. I'm having PTSD right here over that. But I don't have PTSOL anymore. I don't think I'm ever going to go into Lambeau Field and ever feel scared again. Not with Aiden Hutchinson on my team.
Right. NFC North Talk with Russell Wayne, brought to you by Xfinity.
Well, sort of. Wait till Williams comes back. Yeah, that's another. Yeah, we're sitting here right now where I think a lot of Lions fans at the beginning of the season, including you, would be like, man, if we could get it out of these first 4 games at 2-2, we were going to feel really good about winning 12 games. We're 3-1, guys. This is 3-1. We won a couple of games. I didn't think that we'd be 3-1. I thought that we would be 2-2 right here. We're a game ahead of schedule. So I have the team actually at 12 games now in my own projection, because I had them at 11, and you won a game that I didn't think you were going to win. So I have you at 12 now.
They haven't given up 100 yards rushing since what? Week 14 of last year, something like that.
Yep.
So that's quite very impressive. Of course, the Lions have now won 11 out of 14.
Right.
They're on a roll. They were the hottest team in the league last year. They're not undefeated this year, but they did take an overtime loss to beat them. If they win the coin toss, we could be 4-0 right now. So,
and that's, and from all of the people that really freaked out about Aaron Glenn after that second game and went off on him, I mean, I'm not trying to just throw egg on your face or anything, but these seasons are so long, and I've seen so many of them. And we started 1-6 last year, guys, and and this was a 1-6 that wasn't stopping the run. This is a 1-6 that was like, oh my gosh, what the hell is going on with the offensive and defensive coordinators, and like, what are we going to do about this team type of thing? And this was a hiccup that they gave up a lot of passing yards in a game where they didn't give up a lot of rushing yards. They still stopped the run in that Seattle game. They stopped the run in the KC game. And in these last two games, I think that their run stopping is at a different level, because this isn't, I don't want to crap on the Packers too much. I really do want to crap on the Packers, but that's a pretty good rush team. That's a team that runs the ball pretty good. So is Atlanta. So is Seattle. And for the Lions to shut down the 4 teams rushing that they've shut down, this isn't like they've shut down the Bears or something like that. These are bona fide, really good rushing teams, and the Lions defense is shutting them down. So what are they going to do against average teams?
3 of the best rushing teams in the league, hands down. I mean, inarguably, I should say, at least 3 of the top, maybe 5 teams in the whole league at running the ball. We've kept them under 100 yards. That's significant.
Because Chicago is actually. I'm looking through here to see if I can find some. Oh, there's Barry. Barry said this could be Matt LaFleur and Joe Barry's final season, along with the liability Bakhtiari. Yeah, I talk. Yeah, Barry's from Scotland, and we talk on a regular basis. And he was not impressed with the Aaron Rodgers trade and the way they pushed him out. And up until last night, it had seemed like Green Bay was like at the, winning that marriage divorce, right? They were winning that divorce up until that point. Aaron Rodgers is out now, right? But now they get a second round pick because Aaron Rodgers is in play. So they kind of lost on that deal. And then yesterday, Jordan Love did not look good, guys. Like, if you want to go through, you could go into the game and you could pick out 5 throws that were really, really good. And if you want to put a highlight reel together to make Jordan Love look really good, you could do it. You could do it. Just a couple of little nice throws in there. A couple, the touchdown run was nice. You could pull out some highlights and be like, yeah, I believe in Jordan Love, but you don't really believe in him. Because I can also make a much larger and longer tape of Jordan Love looking goofy, Jordan Love looking like he was skittish, looking like a reincarnation of Joey Harrington, happy feet in the pocket, looking like he panicked anytime that he was under any type of real pressure. I mean, it was bad enough that within the next couple of weeks, if he has another performance like that, you might want to think about putting Sean Clifford out there and seeing what you got in him. Am I being too hard on him?
I think so, but go, boy.
You think I'm being too hard? It's usually you that's being hard on these people. But I've been listening to these Packer fans try to sell me on the fact that this guy is as good as Aaron Rodgers.
But Russ, put it in perspective. This guy's young. This is essentially his first season as a starter. If you look at the negatives that you're pointing out, and you look at the positives that were clearly there, the kid's got potential. I can think of probably 7 or 8 quarterbacks in this league that I would rather have Jordan Love instead of. These are starters because of the upside, the age, what we see in him athletically.
Who?
Look, he saved a safety last night by switching the ball to his left hand and throwing it. That is outstanding awareness. Those are things you can build off. He's got a lot of potential. I can see why they kind of see why they ran Aaron Rodgers out the door, because you're probably watching this kid do some athletic things in practice, and you're like, wow, this kid's got a lot going on for him. And he certainly didn't look rattled the whole time. He'd come back in the second half. He's rallying his troops. He's got all the intangibles, it looks like. He just got overwhelmed by a swarming defense last night. I think the kid's going to be all right. They're guaranteed they're going to win 7 games this year minimum.
7 games.
Well, yeah, they got to play the Vikings twice.
and they got to play the Bears again. I mean, yeah, they could win a couple games. I think that they're a nice middle of the road team right now that's playing like a team that's $40 million behind the cap with a learning quarterback.
And I also don't agree with Barry's take that Matt LaFleur and Joe Barry be on the way out, not together anyway. I think Matt LaFleur's done enough in his tenure with Green Bay to not let this be the last year for him. Joe Barry, on the other hand, coordinators' jobs are a lot more sketchy. Sometimes a coach will make a coaching change for the coordinator to kind of save their own butt and deflect a little bit from them and see if, they can get some new juice with a new coordinator. So Joe Barry might be on his way out, but I don't think Matt LaFleur does, even if they falter the rest of the year and don't have a great season. I don't think that Matt LaFleur has done enough to lose his job.
Rashnish says that he froze up, so he had a little so Raven moment. So he had that so Raven moment. It's not looking good for the toilet in the future. I don't know what he's talking about.
That's because That's So Raven was a show on Nickelodeon.
It's not looking good for the toilet. Okay. What I tell you what, man, there's not a lot that isn't looking good for the toilet. The toilet team hasn't won nothing. Oh my God.
Can you put that one back up? I didn't get a chance to read it. The toilet. The team hasn't won nothing since last night.
I mean, okay, you can do the same old song and dance. If you can't look at the team and know that this team is going to be good and this team is going to compete. I mean, we had a lot of our entire back of our secondary was out last night, and we still stopped. I mean, where was Watson? Where's Christian Watson? Where's Romeo Dobbs? Where's
Romeo
Luke
Dobbs was the
Musgrave?
only good player they had on offense last night. Romeo Dobbs, 9 catches, 95 yards. Not bad.
Okay. I mean, you're, gosh.
But I want these Packer fans, that last comment there. This is the cross we have to bear as Lions fans for this season, right, Russ? I mean, when we win this division at the end of the year, they're not going to be able to say that comment next year. They're not going to be able to say, when was the last time the Lions ever? Well, we won the division, so you can shut up about that.
So Joe doesn't say anything. I enjoy the banter, but just keep the facts accurate. I don't know what.
We try.
We try to do that, and I
don't
wish
always
that.
Succeed, but we try.
Yeah, but I wish. I'm just saying here, Joe. I would wish that you were a little more specific.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking for 39 minutes so far. So which part of it are you not jiving with? Can you at least throw in at least something close? I can't just be like the facts. I don't know. I know the facts are that the Lions beat the shit out of the Green Bay Packers last night on their own home turf. That's facts.
Again.
Ken says 12-5 with 1 playoff win. You think that's it? I like that. I like that. That would be something new. I want to win this division too. Lions showed the refs what's up. Let's go. We did. They had Jordan Love was definitely assisted on one of his really long touchdown drives with 3 really weird plays that they called penalties on. Aiden Hutchinson for illegal hands to the face that was like, where was it? There was a couple of them on there. So
And how
I'm
about
glad.
the long pass downfield where there were clearly 3 zeros on the clock before the
Yeah.
ball was snapped at the end of the third quarter? That should have been the end of the quarter, end of discussion. Man, what a great catch. I believe that was Jaden Reed, though. He did make an incredible catch on that. And but it shouldn't have stood, period. It was clearly, egregiously delay of game. End of the quarter, end of the quarter.
Yep. And you know what? And Dan Campbell refusing to comment on it is everything that you need to say. Because if it wasn't a 000, Dan would have just said, no, man, that was it was good. I think that he got it off. The fact that he didn't comment meant that he took the high road and he knew that it was 000s and that the play shouldn't have counted. And that's why Will Harris got burnt, because he saw that it was 000s too. And the refs did an awful job by letting the play go through. I feel you, Austin. We had to battle the referees and still kick their ass. That's awesome. Scott says that we should be 4-0. We should be. We're a coin flip away. Instead of bashing on our defensive coordinator from 2 weeks ago, now it's 2 weeks later. Now you look back at it and then you realize that we've played 4 pretty good teams and that we are a coin flip away from being 4-0. Think about that. Instead of bashing on our coaching for the bad game that they had. Barry said the Lions will outright win the North to be sole reps in the North in playoffs. He doesn't think any other teams.
We will send you a Detroit Lions ball cap when that happens. Scotland. I will pay the shipping. You just send us back a picture of you wearing it, and it's on us.
Nice. I like that. I do.
You like that?
As long as you're paying for it. Anyway, that's lit.
See how I volunteered to?
Yeah. You got to clear these things with me before we go on, right? We have a tight budget with our zero money that we make. No, that's it. That's fire under D. So totally worth it and justify. 1 sack now, 11 in the last 2. I don't know what that's from. They must be having a different conversation. I'm trying to go through here and read these.
Barry says we ran the trash out last night, so he doesn't need that ball hat. Missed garbage day, did we?
Oh man. Let's see. Let me get back to current right here, so I'm not behind. Reed from Michigan State had a good night for the Packers. He did, and we were just talking about, more than half of his stats came on a play that shouldn't have counted. But I guess I can throw that. I can give that. It was a nice catch. It was a good catch.
He had as many as Sam Laporta.
Yeah, but he should have had 4 catches minus 60 yards.
Correct. And then you wouldn't be making that comment at all. But it's a good call out, Ken. He looks like a promising young slot receiver. I got to give you that. Even though I hate Michigan State, I did like him in college. I thought he was a great player.
I mean, I will admit this about Jordan Love. There is a certain part of his demeanor and moxie that it did feel like he was unfazed, but there was a bunch of moments where he looked panicked and he didn't look like he had control over the pocket. But it might have just been because we were a wrecking ball and that was it. That maybe it is an anomaly. But one of 2 things have to happen in this. You either have to admit that your quarterback is really trash, or you have to admit that our defense is elite. One of the 2 things you have to admit, and you better just hope that our defense is elite, because you don't want a trashy quarterback. Let's put it that way.
I haven't checked any rankings yet today, Russ, but I have to think that the run defense of the Detroit Lions has to be ranked in the top 5 at this point, right?
We were already in the top 5. We might be the best defense versus the run by the end. We'll see how these games go.
Here's a big thing, and you touched on it at the beginning. Every team in the league has edge rushers, okay? They're at a premium. That's why they get paid more. So teams invest in good ones. They draft them high. Every team has edge rushers. It's the interior defensive lineman. If you can get a push up the middle and collapse the pocket in that way and disrupt the line of scrimmage and make it chaotic, that's where you get a real edge. And that's what we saw Aaron Donald and the Rams make a Super Bowl run, being able to get pressure up the middle, being disruptive from the interior defensive line. And we saw that. Aleem McNeil, Isaiah Buggs, you alluded to it earlier. That is a difference maker in this league.
So Travis Scott says it'll never end because they'll always say, when was the last time you won a playoff game, though? And then you have to go with when you made it to a Super Bowl, then go to when will you ever? Yeah, I finally get it, guys. When will we finally get one? But here's how we defeat that. We have to live in the here and the now. And the only thing that Lions have at this point in time is the Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell regime. So if you want to go BC, or how about BD before Dan and then AD after Dan? And we have to go with after Dan because we don't have a good history, guys. It's okay.
No, but
you
but I just want to piggyback on what Travis is saying. Travis, those things that they say about us, they're legit. We haven't won the division since the Buccaneers were in it. We haven't won a playoff game since 91, right? 93.
We've never won the North as the North.
We've never been to a Super Bowl. Those things are legit. So we're going to have to eat that with a spoon every year until we defeat those narratives. And winning the division is going to be the first step in that.
And winning 3 in a row in Lambeau Field is something that the Lions never done. That is one of the indications that the same old Lions is over, because the same old Lions loses to Green Bay in Lambeau. The same old Lions loses to Kansas City in Kansas City. The same old Lions trip up and lose 2 games in a row at home against a good rushing team in Atlanta. Those are the types of pull the rug out from underneath of the team type of shit that usually happens that isn't happening anymore. But you have to knock them off one at a time. So they can go ahead and point those things out. But I think that when was the last time we won a playoff game? I think that is very possible that one gets knocked off this year. Now, that I didn't think that we were Super Bowl contenders because you called us a Super Bowl contender at the beginning of the season, Mike. And I was like, I think we can win a playoff game. And I was like, whoa, Super Bowl, that's crazy. But after last night's game and the way that they dominated that game on defense and knowing that our offense hasn't reached its full potential yet, this team's loaded, dude. And this team could absolutely make some noise. And I'm starting to believe that it isn't just a one playoff win. I think this team can continue winning games. I think they're going to win 12, 13, 14 games this year. And we might be hanging a banner, Mike, a real banner, not just we beat the Packers in Lambeau banner, like a real banner, like an NFC North championship banner.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We could put it right next to that one that says our old quarterback won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I definitely, going all the way back to 1957, it's hard. It's hard to stomach. It's hard to listen to all these people talking about it. But those are legitimate concerns, Travis. I appreciate that you watched the show today. And Daniel says, Aleem, Detroit has a dream. Yes.
Oh, that gets a Kirk Cousins.
You like that? Oh, for sure. Aleem, Detroit has a dream. And Aleem's was one of my breakout candidates for this year.
Aleem, Detroit has a dream, just like the old Martin Luther King. Oh, sorry.
I love it. I love it, man. It's great. I'm a defensive lineman. I'm an offensive and defensive lineman type of dude. I think that all of the battles and every team wins there. When we had Stafford here, it was like whenever we'd go up against teams with those nasty defensive lines, those are the ones that would always get to them. And I always wanted to be that team. We had Sue, but we didn't have a lot of people other than Sue. at that time. We have a line that is nasty right now that can get at people. And Aleem is one of those dogs up there. And we, from the outside, we appreciate the hard work that he put in as a 350-pound man to become a 315-pound man and work on his flexibility and take the next step in his development. Going into his third year, he looks like he's becoming a dominating force in the middle of that defense, and I appreciate your comment.
4 sacks, Russ. 1 from Aiden Hutchinson, 1 from Charles Harris, 1 from Isaiah Buggs, 1 from Aleem McNeil. 4 men across the line. You're rushing 4 guys getting pressure. That means everybody's covered on the back end, and the quarterback's got nowhere to go.
Yep.
That's the most impressive thing about that game. 4 sacks, where they came from. It wasn't a nickel corner. It wasn't a corner blitz. It wasn't a safety blitz. It was right from the interior, all 4 sacks coming up the gut. I love it.
And you know what? There was another thing that I really love too, is like the fact that you don't hear the name Cameron Sutton should tell you everything that you need to know. They're not even throwing at him. The quarterbacks aren't even trying Cameron Sutton. And that is why Jerry Jacobs is being picked on. But guess what? Jerry Jacobs had 2 picks. So go ahead and pick on Jerry Jacobs, because he might just pick you. So kudos to Jerry Jacobs for a bounce back game. I mean, the fans of Detroit were so hard on him after that Seattle game that he had to shut his Twitter down and he had to shut his social media down because they were so nasty. And he came in, didn't listen to any of that talk, and had a great game. A great game by Jerry Jacobs. 2 interceptions.
When Brian Branch went out the first time, did you feel it? Did you feel like a drop off in the energy from the Lions and the Green Bay Packers licking their chops, that something has changed, the momentum has shifted? I really felt an energy drop when Brian Branch went off the field, and then Will Harris gets burned for that big throw with no time on the clock. So I don't know. I just felt like we shouldn't even have saw Will Harris in there had it not been for that injury, and I felt like there was some wind taken out of our sails by that.
Well, the fact that Dan Campbell did not fault Will Harris for giving up that big play, like I said, it tells you that there was that it was caught off guard because everybody out on the field, when they hiked that ball, even Jordan Love was like, whatever, I'm just going to throw the ball. And that the fact that they gave him that play, it's going to be a ding on Will Harris's, his stats or whatever for PFF or whatever is going to take a hit on that. But you know what? Whatever momentum was gotten from that play was taken away after the touchdown when John Kaminsky ripped Jordan Love down short of the line to gain to get the 2-point conversion and keep it a 10-point game. That all the momentum went right out right there. And then the Lions just proceeded to take the ball, run it down their throats, like we were all last night. They were never close in this game in the field. I maybe for like a 2-minute period, Mike, maybe we were worried for like a 2-minute period, but it was just because we wanted to see the game, them run the clock out. And you'd mentioned something last night about, oh my God, he did this against New Orleans. And I'm like, right at that time, we run the ball right down their throat. The game dagger touchdown by David Montgomery, his 3rd of the game. They were never really close. Once we stuck their foot right on their throat, it was over. Did you really feel like we were going to lose or like they could come back?
I think it was just that old PTSOL creeping in, and the deficit was identical at the time when I said that. We were up by 17. The New Orleans was up by 17, relatively close to about the same time in the game. Jordan Love had that same look. I'm going to bring these guys back. He looked confident. He looked confident even after he got sacked. He jumped right up, rallying his guys, unfazed. And that, to me, is a big marker for this kid's potential moving forward. I think he's going to be a problem. I think he is going to mature and he's going to get better. And in a couple of years, we're going to see Jordan Love, wreaking havoc on teams. I firmly believe that.
Well, we'll see. We'll see
But
about
I'm wrong all the time. So there
yeah.
you go.
Like I said, that makes one of us. I don't see him. I don't think that you could name 15 quarterbacks that you would want, like that you wouldn't take over Jordan Love. Like you couldn't name 15 quarterbacks that you would take Jordan Love over in this league right now, and that's just not good enough. You need to have a top 10 quarterback in order to be I think serious contenders. I mean, the Trent Dilfers everybody likes to use. It's like that's like one example in like 100 years. I mean, there are anomalies, right? There are Trent Dilfers that do make it through and that win spite. You know, what was the other one? Brad Johnson was that the Tampa Bay one? Brad Johnson won.
Yeah, I know you left kind of early. Did you get a chance between then and now to listen to what Jared Goff said in the post game?
I didn't. No.
Okay, it was great, Russ. You'd absolutely love it. Ryan Fitzpatrick had said, I think it was last week, that Jared Goff was the poor man's Matt Ryan. So last night, when Jared Goff is sitting at the desk with Ryan, right next to Ryan Fitzpatrick, he goes, "Well, was that up to your poor man's standards? Was that poor?" And Fitzpatrick backed right on. Hey, I didn't mean it like that. And Goff goes, "No, I'm just kidding with you."
Yeah, and that tells you that he hears it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I hear all the chatter. I hear everything that's being said out there. And I'm going to stand on the mountain like that. Jared Goff's been a good quarterback his entire career. I mean, you want to point out there's a 2-year stretch where he was just above average. That's fine. But to say that he's awful and that he's noodle arm or all that stuff, he's proven that he's been a great quarterback. And I've said this 100 times, it's just because he's a pocket quarterback. It's just a pocket quarterback. Everyone wants to see somebody escape the pocket and run. And wow, he can extend plays. But just having a good quarterback that stands in the pocket under the pressure, throws the ball, gets it to his playmakers, that's rare. And that's why he is a top 10 quarterback. And it's undebatable. It's undebatable. Jared Goff. When are they going to extend him?
Russ, can I plug the show?
Yes. Go ahead.
Hey, if you're out there, follow our page. It's Detroit Lions Villain Squad. Head over to our YouTube at Main Event 365. Push subscribe. We are really pushing here to make a push by the end of the year to get to our goals. We would really appreciate it if you would help us out. It doesn't cost a thing. You just make a little click. Subscribe to our YouTube, like our page, Detroit Lions Villain Squad, and don't forget to tune in Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's NFC North Open Mic with Main Event Mike, your host, produced by the Russell Wayne, the Maestro. We will be with all 4 fan bases, well, 2 of them for sure, because the other 2 are ghosting us. And we talk a lot of smack, and we talk a lot of football. NFC North Open Mic, 7 p.m. Monday nights. Thanks for having me, Russ. Go Lions.
That's awesome. That's Main Event Mike right there. Yes, he is the fearless host of our Monday program. And we're hoping to have the smack talking program. I mean, maybe nobody wants to talk smack anymore and we'll get rid of the smack talking program and we'll just have a program, but we'll stay. Let's say easy. Start your own channel. That would be awesome. I'm sure. I'm not sure here. Yes. Start your own channel. Go ahead. Get it. Get your own channel. We do have our own channel. And if you're over on the YouTube channel right now, we got 21 people on there. If you're watching and you haven't hit the like button yet, please do that. We would love that. That's what helps us. That's what helps us get out there. We want to reach as many football fans in the morning. This is NFC North Talk with Russell Wayne. That's me. And I'm doing this every day at 11 a.m. During the weekdays. And if you're a Lions fan, then you can follow our page. If you're a Packer fan and you're not in witness protection now after that beatdown yesterday, then you can get your Packer news by going and following Bill the Packer fan. If you're a Bear fan, I haven't seen too many Bear fans in here. Then you can go follow Mike the Bear fan. He's approaching 10,000. And congratulations on that, Mike the Bear fan. Detroit Lions news We appreciate you guys so much allowing us to broadcast right there into your network and helping us out. And this is NFC North Talk with Russell Wayne. And right now, I'm in such a good mood. I don't know how many people are out there, but I'm going to throw the link out. I'm going to throw the link out there. And if you're out there and you want to have a conversation, you want to talk about the win, or if you're a Packer fan and you want to tell me whether you want to keep Joe Barry or whose fault it is. If you're a Viking fan, you want to talk about getting right. I mean, it is NFC North Talk. And we got the Ophers playing this weekend. Now that we're done with this beatdown of the Green Bay Packers on their own home turf, which is our home turf now. That's Ford Field North. That's our up north cabin in Lambeau. We like that. But you got the Vikings going to take on the Carolina Panthers. 0-3 teams. Obviously it didn't start out the way that they wanted. And it's teed up for you. Somebody's got to get a win. Who's it going to be? You think it's the Vikings? You think the Vikings can get a win? Carolina? You think Chicago can get a win against the Broncos? Broncos giving up 70 points to Miami? Oh my God. It's crazy. Green Bay versus the Vikings should be a good matchup. Yeah, I do. I think that would be a good matchup. I actually thought Green Bay was better. I don't know if it's that Green Bay isn't as good or it's that the Lions are legit. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So Jeremy says, had Robert or John came on and apologized for their takes in this game. No, they won't. They won't do that. Robert's Dorn is still throwing out the walking the Lions because they own the franchise lead, which is lame. Okay, that's fine. You guys own that lead, but everything that's relevant, 4 in a row, it's going to be quiet. Robert Dorn, John Dorn, you're going to be quiet. And if you're not, you're just gonna you're just running your mouth. Your team isn't very good. Or my team is really, really good. You have to admit one or the other. And we got Steve is real. Yeah. Welcome to the program.
What's up?
What's going on, man? I appreciate you coming on here and repping your team.
Well, hey, you know what? I'm like I says, you and I are around the same age. I've been seeing this for years and stuff like that. And that was an ass kicking. I mean, that was a total ass kicking that we took yesterday. I mean, no, one thing that I loved, I saw the Matt, I put it in the comment there. I saw the Matt LaFleur press conference last night or whatever, this morning, but it was from last night. He was pissed. I mean, some guy asked a question or something, and Matt went off. He goes, what did he say? Something like, whoa, what a dumbass question. I was like, I mean, his face was so red. I mean, I understand. I mean, we took a total ass kicking.
So where do you put the blame? I mean, are you freaking out on somebody?
Well,
I think that the Lions are just that good because I thought.
I'm not. Hey, wait. See, like you see my name, Steve is real. I'm going to be real here. I'm not going to take nothing away from the Detroit Lions. Nothing. One thing that I don't do is every team, every fan and stuff, they have their reps. I mean, you guys beat us 4 straight times. So be it. Okay, that's fine. I don't live off of that. I don't care about that. I don't care about who makes whatever. No, the season isn't over because it's like this. Hey, you guys might kick our ass again in Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. But as the season goes on, who knows? We don't know. We can speculate, we can assume or whatever. Who knows? We still could win the division. We don't know that. You might beat us 5 times in a row. Fine. But we got other teams to play. There's other games to play. And let's say this, bro. Let's say Lions win the division. Congrats. Packers somehow gets in the playoffs, wildcard team. Now, what if the Lions get knocked out and we don't? How? See, that's what I say. That's why I don't bear and live off the how many times you beat who and whatever. To me, these teams are playing for something. It's the Super Bowl, and that's the only thing that matters to me. Now, I don't expect us to. I expected us to either go 7-10, 8-9, 9-8. That was it. I did not look at us this year as a playoff or a Super Bowl team. No. I'm just hoping that this is a young team.
You had some magic, man. I mean, you guys had a reason to feel good about the team, and I'm not going to take anything away from that because I really want to give my team more credit, and I want to think that you guys are better. You guys are better. No,
you should give your team credit, bro. I mean, you should. I mean,
what I'm trying to say is that what you guys are $40 million behind the cap.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You took all of the hit all at once,
right?
As far as that goes, you're $40 million behind the cap, and the fact that you guys are sitting here at 2-2. Honestly, if I'm a Packer fan, I'm just looking at this like just a fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a Packer fan, I look at that and I think that that's promising.
Well, I mean, I love it. I love it that they did that because after this year, that's gone. And another thing I'm waiting to be
you guys get to spend some money in the offseason. You guys get to go and build some pieces around with an extra second round pick from the Rodgers trade. And I mean, that's an exciting offseason. You're in the offseason, you guys are going to have some fun as I'm going to welcome A-Dub to the program. What's up, buddy?
A-Dub, what's up, bro?
What's up, fellas?
And I'm glad to see this Packer representation here. I mean, I didn't think that you guys would let me down. Not like the
Russell
Bear fans and the Viking fans have.
Hey, Russell, I even put in a comment after first thing I said. No matter win or lose, I love and enjoy this show. Win or lose, no matter what. I mean, you, Mike, A-Dub, all the other guys, whatever. This is fun. See, like I said, this is fun no matter what. I'm a realist. Okay, win or lose, I can take an ass kicking.
Yeah,
I can take an ass kicking. Whatever. Like I said, I'm a pure realist man. If I get my ass, we get our ass beat. But you know what? The season goes on, and like I said,
it goes on, man.
Congrats to you. If you guys want to.
You got 10 weeks. You got 10 days, man. You got 10 days. Get your injuries right. Try to get some of these guys back. I do want to hear what A-Dub's got to say about
Me
this,
too.
man. You have the floor.
Yeah, I've made my comment before to congratulate Detroit on the win. Like, those guys were definitely the better team, and I didn't see anything out of that game that I didn't expect. Like, I already knew from what I was watching with Detroit that the Lions were definitely going to be the team to watch out for this year.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely proved it last night.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys?
And Green Bay, we pretty much have our holes and our issues to atone for going into this season. It was all the more reason I kept my expectations tempered because I knew even while we were young, this kind of loss is part of the growing pains that we have to undergo and we have to deal with.
Right.
This is the youngest team in the NFL, so of course losses like these are to be expected.
And it can happen, and it's okay though, because I like where you're going. If I'm looking at the franchise from the outside, like I was telling Steven, and you are $40 million behind the cap. You ripped the Band-Aid off. You knew that this was going to be a growth year. And if you guys can get out here, like Steven said, you guys could sneak into the back end of the playoffs. And I don't think that you guys are that bad of a team. I razz on you guys a little bit just because of the rivalry. But I like the defense. The defense shows some promise in there. They keep you in most of the games. Still not all of that good against the run. It got kind of exposed on the run a little bit. Mm-hmm. So you're wanting to do something in that area.
Yeah, that run defense has been a yearly problem for us. Like, this year is not the first time it was an issue. last season it was an issue, and any other year before that, us being able to stop the run has been a problem. So this isn't new.
And it's like this was like a coming out party right here for because up until this point, really, because last week was a good performance by the Lions defensively against Atlanta, but this right here was where you went from paper to real. Like the Lions were really good on paper, right? You got this draft pick and that draft pick, blah, blah. We never seen, we haven't seen them do anything yet, blah, 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 right? This was where you really got to see it out in reality. And now it's a real thing, comes off the paper and it turns into reality. That's kind of how I saw last night.
Well, what I wanted to think is like I said, we took a total ass kicking. And you know what? Maybe we needed this. Maybe the Packers, to a point, needed this. It kind of reminds me of Rocky III, when Clubber Lang, just came out of nowhere and just beat the snot out of Rocky. Of course, it's a movie, whatever. And then that woke him up. That woke Rocky. Then and there was Apollo, Eye of the Tiger, or whatever. Maybe we needed this ass kicking because I saw it in LaFleur's face at that press conference this morning when I turned it on. I mean, his face was red.
Well,
The one. Go ahead,
sorry
Doc.
Sorry to interrupt you, but wait. When you bring up the Rocky III narrative, you got to remember, Rocky was at the top of his game. Rocky was currently a champ in that time, and he pretty much went from being the hungry competitor who was pretty much chosen by Apollo to be his opponent for that title to where he got to civilize in his position.
Well, what I'm just trying to say is sometimes you need an ass kicking to wake yourselves up. Some teams need that. And from what I saw from LaFleur, he was pissed and he goes, you know what? He goes, things got to change. Now, like I said, there's a whole season left.
And he's right.
Right.
And he's right. Things do have to change. And more than likely, we all know it's going to start with Joe Barry, because he did say something about the defense, how it was insane where you go over we do the same things over and over again, and we get the same kind of results again. So, of course, that's going to be addressed in the future.
Right.
So let me give you some good news, guys. So, I mean, and you guys probably already knew this, but the Packers next on their schedule is the Raiders. And then the week after that is the Denver Broncos, who just gave 70 points up to the Miami Dolphins. So there's 2 games right there. I think that you guys should be 4-2 going into playing Minnesota.
Now, you know what?
Yeah, and of course, after the Raiders, we got our bye week to heal up on.
And you know what I'm shocked at? Russell, you and Mike was talking about all the Detroit Lion fans in Lambeau. From what I found out this morning, people sold their tickets to them. I mean, what in the living blue hell? I mean, there's people waiting to get season tickets. Green Bay has one of the longest lines to get season tickets. So I end up hearing that there was fans, they sold their tickets. I'm like, why?
Because they don't believe in your team.
Well, okay. Well, good.
I mean, that's it. Okay. I mean, I've lived in Detroit my whole life, man. I'm used to it, right? Nobody that gets season tickets for the Lions, by the end of the season, they're selling them at half a face value.
I got family
want to go to the game.
I got family up there in Detroit. Livonia. How far is Livonia from Detroit?
It's right there. I mean, it's right on the outskirts, really.
Okay, because I got family up there.
Oh, well, actually, it's down there, right? Isn't it?
I think. I'm not really sure.
I mean, Lambeau is our up north place now. Ford Field North is what we're going to start calling that. It's our up north. We like hunting and fishing. We like all that stuff.
When I heard that they sold the tickets, I'm like, that's like a smack in the face. I'm like, there's people who's waiting in line to get season tickets, and you guys are selling your tickets. I mean, what?
See, what you're going to find out, if you guys are bad for any type of time, you guys are going to lose a lot of your fair weather fans. There's a lot of fair weather fans in every fan base. I'm not saying Green Bay is not the only one that has fair weather fans. I'm watching a whole bunch of fair weather fans come out of the woodwork for the villain squad and the Detroit Lions right now.
Now-
All these guys are coming out, and I've liked them my whole time. I've never seen you before. I've been doing this thing for 7 years, and all of a sudden you're here, and I guess you're a Lions fan too, right?
I'll tell you what, the best way you can easily call out and find fair weather fans in your own fan base is if you take time to school them on your team history.
Right.
Now, let me ask you this, Ross. I want to get your take on this. Now, your Lions are playing well. They're going to hopefully have a good season, like I said in the comment there. I believe after this year, your OC is going to be gone. Ben Johnson is going to be gone. I believe he's going to get a head coaching job.
You think?
Dude, he's an excellent offensive coordinator.
He turned down a head coaching job.
I mean, right, but when money talks,
you noticed one thing about the Detroit Lions and this new culture that they have, because I want to push back on that immediately. The reason why the people are staying around Dan Campbell is because they like being there. If he goes, so if Ben Johnson goes to, let's say, Arizona, he doesn't want that trash job.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
There,
because like last night, I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute. What if Ben Johnson goes to the Bears? They call him up. I mean, I know what you're saying. I agree with you.
Why is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson coming here in Detroit? And I know that he's injured right now, but playing for $6 million when he could get 12 on the open market. Why do you think that is?
Well, that's what I was saying. Money talks. If the right money's thrown at Ben
money
Johnson,
doesn't always talk. That's what I'm saying right now. Money doesn't always talk. The chance to win a title or to be part of something that is bigger than yourself is bigger than the money. People are turning down bigger money to come to Detroit to play around the culture.
You could say the culture of your organization is what can draw people over.
And that's what's happening right now. And it's never happened in Detroit. It was happening with Green Bay. When you guys had Aaron Rodgers there, I mean, Aaron Rodgers could be like, hey, man, why don't you come over here? And he could get players to come onto your team and play and I'm not talking like superstars. I'm just talking like really, really good, above average to great players that not a lot of people know about. Good depth guys that can come in and play if a guy goes down. I mean, that's what you guys used to have there. I don't know if you can get it now, but that's what's starting to happen to the Lions. It happens to the Chiefs. It happens to the Philadelphia Eagles. You can get these guys that'll take pay cuts to come and try to win titles.
Well, the whole Kansas City Chiefs things, I don't want to get on about that. I have my own little theory on that tidbit, but it's like I said, I mean, things can happen. And this whole thing with Bakhtiari, I mean, I have no ill will against him, but I just want him gone. I'm just tired of every year he's hurt, he's there, he's taking up money. There's so much money going to him and he can't even play. I mean, I know we ain't going to be able to trade him. No one's going to want. I mean, I don't know. Anything in this world can happen. It's just that I'm just like tired of seeing this bit. He's there and he's taking up money, and I understand he's injured his knee, but come on. I mean, come on.
Well, there is the objective. We can always get something from the Jets to send him over there with Rodgers.
Right.
Because the Jets do have their story that they need help on their O-line, so why not send Bakhtiari there?
Right. Now I'm going to get your two opinions on this. The trade deadline's coming up. Now, A-Dub, me and your Packer fans, do you see any big trades coming to Green Bay?
Highly unlikely.
Really?
I mean, when it comes to where I see Green Bay standing right now, if they're gonna trade anybody off the current roster we got now, more than likely it's gonna be a defensive guy that goes. and that's the best chance we're gonna actually get somebody to come over here.
Okay. Russell, your
But
thoughts?
then you'll also have some draft. We'll have to let a bit of draft capital go as well, just to get someone here too.
Yeah, what was the question? I'm sorry. I was
You,
looking.
you know,
He was saying
oh,
he was asking, do you see a big trade coming for Detroit down the road when it comes to the trade deadline coming up?
Maybe. I mean, if they feel they can get a piece that can push them over the edge, I doubt it. I don't think that that's in Brad Holmes' MO. And for you guys, I would say no. Like, I would be very surprised because I believe that there's what you guys are in what I call a house money phase right now. You guys are 40 million behind the cap. There's no reason that you guys are going to put resources in to try to win this year because you already know that you're going to get 40 million next year in cap relief from the Rodgers trade. And there's no reason I mean, if you guys make it to the playoffs on this, good. I mean, that means that you guys are way ahead of schedule. You guys get to, play with the money in the off season. But if you struggle, and let's say you only win 6 or 7 games, then you still have, the money. You can make your team a lot better in the off season. So all should be good for you guys right now, because this is a house money season and you're 2-2. So feel pretty good about that. And, and Ndamukong Suh's still out there, right? I could see the Lions doing something like, in the middle of the season, because he don't want to do no training camp or nothing like that. He just wants to come in and dominate, right? And be a piece on a winning team. So something like that I could see them doing a 1-year flyer, throwing him $5-6 billion just to,
Yeah. The funny
take
thing
some
about
reps.
trade. Yeah, I was gonna say funny thing about trades. I've seen a ad or a post somewhere where it was talking about Green Bay was one of the top locations where they could likely do a Devontae Adams trade if he's willing to leave Las Vegas, and I'm not sure how that's gonna work.
That ain't gonna happen. I mean, I'm so sick of that. We don't need wide receivers. I mean, can we at least admit now that Josh Reynolds and Sam Laporta are bona fide number 2 targets in this league? I mean, but it's week 4 now, and all these guys keep on doing right next to Amon-Ra St. Brown is balling out. And the outside media seems to think that we need to go after every number 1 wide receiver that says they want to be traded. We don't need a wide receiver. Jameson Williams is coming back in 3 weeks. And we're 3-1.
I mean, now how's Jameson Williams going to pan out?
I mean, we don't even need him to pan out. We don't need a wide receiver right now.
Right.
I mean, if he comes in and, a guy with 4.2 speed doesn't help the team, okay, that sucks. But, I mean, it's going to help the team. The guy's touched the ball 9 times and scored on 3 of them. So, there's that. So I like that. I like where the Lions are when it comes with that. They got 2 more games left without Jameson. I'm actually going to the game. I'm headed to Baltimore with my son to see the debut of Jameson.
Really?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you probably be traveling right through here.
I could be, but I got to get off of here, guys, man. This has been a great conversation. So I would love to come on here and keep on just trashing the Packers and gloating, but I'm not going to be like that. This is what we do here. But, we got some big games this weekend. And before I take off, I really kind of want to know what you think. There you go. There you guys are, where you are. The 0-3. 0-3. You guys, come on. Let's see what's going to happen. I want you guys to put your predictions into the comments right there. Even if you're a Packer or a Lion fan, you got the 0-3 teams in our division playing 0-3 teams outside the division. You got Vikings versus Carolina, and you got Chicago versus the Broncos. I want you to put it into the comments. Which one of the 0-3 teams are going to get victories? And if neither one of the teams are going to win, go ahead and put that in the comments too. So
Where's the Vikings Carolina game at?
I I want to say that it's in. I don't know.
It's
I don't
in
know.
Carolina.
It's in Carolina.
I
Yeah.
would. Then I say Carolina will win that one.
And then the
And the
Broncos
Bears
are
are-
just really bad, and the Bears are
And
really
the Bears
bad.
are hosting. And the Bears are hosting the Broncos. And my take on both games is both Minnesota and Chicago should win, in my opinion. Like for me, you're already seeing the Tank Bowls take plays already in week 4 when it comes to both of these games being played. And my thing is, Minnesota, y'all got too much going on offense where y'all should be this bad.
Well, if it was in Minnesota, then I would give it to the Vikings. But for the fact that it's in Carolina, I'm going to just give them that little edge.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah,
my,
I mean,
but,
go ahead.
but my thing with Carolina is that Carolina is still a work in process,
Right.
especially with their young quarterback back in Bryce Young over there. So I can give the edge to Minnesota based on their offense. But how will they look defensively against Carolina is the bigger question. Because I kept saying this defense of Minnesota is completely suspect, and they proved me right throughout the season.
Yep, and that's going to be the story right there. The neither one of those teams really have any of the teams really have a good defense. So it's going to be a good shot for all 4 of the teams, really. When you think Russell Wilson and you're thinking Bryce Young, you're thinking Justin Fields, you're thinking Kirk Cousins, they have a chance to really get right, all 4 of those teams, against bad defenses. Like offensively, they can get it going right there. But I'm going to leave you guys with that thought right there. Put that into the comments, who you got on these weekend games. I am going to take a hiatus here until Monday, where we're going to hit the NFC North open mic. And if you guys want to come on, talk some trash, I mean, there'll probably be just most Lion fans on here talking shit. But we got, the Vikings and the Bears. You guys want to come on? That's Monday night. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel right there, that at Main Event 365 right there. And, I'm going to leave you with this right here. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again on Monday. God bless you. I'll talk to you soon. One Pride.
Take care, everyone.
Ooh, I want to thank everybody for being part of the broadcast today. NFC North Talk with Russell Wayne. That's right. I always like to do like the little after hour things right there. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. $739 days. 739 days since the Packers whooped the Lions. I'm gonna keep that going. I like that.
You like that?
I said the YouTube channel. I just threw the link in. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you were watching it on one of the other things, grab that link. Go over there. Like and subscribe. We love doing this content, man. I love talking football. Hope that you love talking football too. Each and every morning, 11 a.m. in the weekdays. All season long. Be sure and check out our friends over at And We Know Sports. Every Thursday, right before Thursday Night Football, 7 p.m. Who is the best QB in the North? That guy on the left. Look at that. Jared Goff. Maybe you could argue Kirk Cousins. The frozen tundra of Ford Field North. We went up north, did some fishing, did some hunting. In our up north cabin in Lambeau Field, right there, Detroit Lions style. You don't like what I'm saying, Packer fans? Show up on the open mic, 7 p.m. Monday night. Bring your thick skin. Leave your feelings at home. Look at those. We got 21 people on the YouTube channel still watching. I appreciate you. 14 of you have liked the broadcast. If you're watching on YouTube, can you hit that like button for me? I'd love that. Oh, I am so happy that I don't have to lose this fantastic way to end the broadcast. For real this time.
It's not fair. They were so happy. It's not gonna be okay.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.